there has to be a higher standard for what is good and what is garbage. The lines that we remember, that's not how they came about, in my opinion. You know, just erase it from the archives forever because it serves no purpose. And I mean, I can't lie. Even someone who's completely legitimate at this point, by most accounts, someone like Tony Robbins. I'm not talking about Tony Robbins, but I really can't even stand it when he does it. One of the things that really drives me nuts about some of these motivational channels is when they'll say the most mundane, uninspiring lines, but they try to make it seem powerful with music and pauses, and it's like everyone is trying to create the next great quote. It's not that I don't get it. I don't agree with it. I just think everyone wants to have, people playing back bits of their videos in this very dramatic way, and they'll just, it's like they're trying to reverse engineer drama or pathos, but that's not how it happened. It's just not the lines that we remember. That's not how they came about, in my opinion. And they're always like, they repeat it slowly, and God, I hate it when guys do this. I hate it because it seems like it works on some of these people who don't know the difference between someone who's trying to, who wants to be recognized as someone who speaks in very quaint terms and is eloquent, and they can't tell the difference between someone who's trying to pull it off and someone who's doing it without even knowing it. Again, I haven't come across it, as I've mentioned in my other video about writing a book in 2020. It seems like all the great thinkers and orators, they're mostly, they've already written what they're gonna write. They've already said what they're gonna say. And I mean, there's a few, someone like Cal Fussman, and he's a pretty good speaker. He's he's clearly speaking from experience, and there's not, to me, I didn't detect any of that. Let me try to buff this up a little bit and really get people's attention. I didn't detect any of that when I think the first thing was when I heard that podcast. It's pretty old. I think it's 5 or 6 years old. It might be older. I think it's before Tim Ferriss was doing anything on YouTube, and all his stuff was just audio. But yeah, what these YouTubers these days do, what they'll do is they'll say something like, life is the maze and we are the compass that guides it. And then they'll pause and then they'll replay it again. They'll say, I'm gonna say that again. Eric Thomas is the worst at this, maybe. He thinks everything he says needs to be repeated and dramatized. Then they say it again. I'm gonna say it again. Life is the maze and we are the compass. And these people just, man, they're such a fan of themselves, and they think everything they say is so poignant, and it drives me just, man, I just want to deplatform everything that's like that, which of course I don't actually want to do. I'm not insane like that, but I don't like it because I feel like they're trying to fool people. I mean, everyone thinks that what they say is profound and meaningful, but I don't know. I think you need to have a real sharp eye to recognize when something is it might just be meaningful to you, but it's not going to do anything for the rest of us. It's just like, I mean, I can think of a ton of content that I've cut because it's just not good enough. Even if it was really, if it made an impact on me, you know, when I look at it again, it's pretty obvious that, you know, it was just a little thing that meant something to me, and no one else would get it or appreciate it. But then there's other stuff that, you know, I mean, I sift through it. I edit it out, and this, I mean, I'm still learning how to do it in the video format. But I think, you know, in other regards, I think I've done well. I mean, I've cut 90% of things that I've done before. I mean, I'm talking like 1,000 pages that I cut down to 100, and then I started cutting again because, you know, it's like not every single thing that I say or write or do it's not gonna, it doesn't move the needle that much as far as, you know, the emotions that it's going to evoke in people. And again, when you're sitting by yourself, something can seem really profound, some deep thought you might have, but as soon as you go to tell someone, it's almost, you realize like right away, like, Jesus, this sounds a little too woo-woo. This sounds a little too, you know, hippie. Like, man, we're all just balls of beautiful love wrapped up in this world of light. Like, you realize, shit, what am I? This is, you know, just erase it from the archives forever because it serves no purpose, and it's just something that made me feel good for 2 seconds. But just get rid of it. I'm sorry. Like, there has to be a higher standard for what is good and what is garbage. And I just think that most creators have no idea where to draw that line. As far as the people who are putting stuff out and they're just dying for views, you know, you know, they live and die by that view counter or subscribers or whatever. And I think it seems pretty obvious that most of the best content out there, whether it's books, especially books, or even YouTube videos or movies, all the top caliber stuff, none of that was written or produced or created for anyone else but the person who made it. And then they just kind of let us in. They just said, well, you know, here's how I see it. I don't know, what do you guys think? You know, they weren't trying to lasso people, you know, to bring to them and say, look at this magnificent thing I created, admire me and tell me how great it is. You know, the best stuff just seems to be like, it wasn't about that at all. There was, you know, if anything, they were overly critical of what they were putting out. And you know, that's how I see it. But some of these inspirational people, it's like, I don't know, it's almost like politics. It's almost like it seems like they must meet with someone, and someone says, oh, this tested really well in a poll, say that line, say it slower, change the tone of your voice to be more dramatic, and they just keep doing it. And man, nothing puts someone at the absolute back of the list on my top, you know, than to see someone do something like that. Subscribe!